Hello everyone and welcome to this, my first ever vlog. My name is Casanis. And actually this is my 1-year anniversary on YouTube vlog. So thank you everyone for watching and thanks everyone for being here. And thanks for making my first year super awesome. First thing, a lot of you guys asked for a face reveal. So let's do it. That was it. That was my face. That's my face right there. Now it's not exactly what you want to see, I don't think. I got myself on a disguise. My wife said, I don't care, and you're probably hearing baby screaming in the background. You know what, I have recorded this thing 100 times, and people have called me, and babies screamed, and blah, blah, blah. You know what, that's it. This is it. If babies scream, I don't care. You're seeing it. You're hearing it. Anyway, that's part of my life, I guess. That's part of me. Anyway, guys, this is my 1 year video, and this is my face. I'm wearing a disguise because my wife said, I don't care if you do a video, I don't care if you do a vlog, as long as you wear a disguise. Now, she's worried about stalkers. I'm not worried about stalkers. Who is going to want to stalk me? Look at this. Look at this guy. I'm wearing a pink little girl hat, and I'm wearing glasses. No one after this video is going to want to stalk me. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to wear a pink little girl hat. I'm not going to wear a pink little girl hat. I am going to wear the glasses. This is my disguise, and this is my face. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're disappointed, but this is what it is. In fact, a lot of you who have played with me, or watched my videos, see my Terraria videos or my Minecraft videos, you're going to say, oh my god, that's his character. And it is. I make all my characters in every game look exactly like me. So I shave my head. I shave my head very regularly. I always have. It's been a really long time that I've done it like this, and that's it. So I shave my head, I'm bald. If you've seen my character, then you've seen me. So anyone who's played with me, no surprise. Anyone who's never played with me or watched my videos and they're seeing this for the first time is probably thinking, that's him? And it is. Sorry to disappoint. This is me. I'm going to leave the glasses on. This will be my disguise, though. All right. So for this video, I asked you guys to ask me questions, and you did. You guys asked me some really awesome questions. Perfect. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to go through those questions. And what I did, a lot of people asked me, you're going to see me looking from side to side like this, and that's because I have questions on both monitors. A lot of you guys asked me the same question, so I'm going to give everyone a shout out, but I might shout you out in a group. I might say, you know, these 4 people asked me this question. I've reworded all the questions just to make sure that they, you know, would fit all together. So that we're going to start off right away with the questions that everyone asked me. There's no shout out here, no shout out for these ones here, because everyone in the entire world asked me this. At one point or another, everyone asked me this. The first question is, will you make me an intro or an animation for my channel? No, I won't. I'm sorry to say that I can't. You know, like I said, people ask me this constantly. Can I make this for you? Can I make that for you? You know, I really can't. I don't even have time to do the stuff I want to do for my channel, so I really can't make intros and animations for everyone. A lot of people offer me 10 bucks. And again, 10 bucks, I'm a professional animator. And for a lot of people, 10 bucks is probably a lot of money. They're like, wow, I'm offering him 10 bucks. This is, you know, worth it. You know, he's getting, you know, $1 a second. But as a professional animator, you know, any animator is not going to do an animation for 10 bucks. They're just not going to do it. You know, they're not even going to turn on their computer for 10 bucks. That's the truth. We do it because we love it. We do the work. Animators do the work they do because they love it. That's the honest truth. Their hours are terrible. There's no recognition. We do it because we love it. But we don't love it so much that we're going to do it for everybody else for free. I'm sorry. We're just not going to. So that's the first question. No, I will not make you an animation. All right. Oh, unless, you know, as a Patreon reward if I've reached X number of Patreon patrons, then I'm going to actually give away intros, 8-second intros. I'm going to give that away, or a short animation, 8-second short animation for your channel. I think I said I was going to do it monthly. Check out my Patreon channel, and if I have enough patrons, then that's what we're going to do. All right, the second question a lot of people ask me, and they've been asking me this a lot more recently. Ever since Vector collapsed, I've been asked this a million times. People ask me, hey, why don't you join Minecraft? I would love to join Minecraft, but I'm sure right now if you went right now and said, hey Good, let Casanis on Minecraft, Good would say, who? So, I don't see Minecraft happening anytime soon. However, if you guys know how I could get on, let me know, and you know what, I'm going to start right now. I'm going to start working on it right now. In fact, if you guys want to start a hashtag Casanis for Minecraft campaign, then I will support you 100%. All right, so from here we're going to go into questions that a lot of people are asking, like the first grouping actually. The first grouping is family. Momo Peach 94 asks, how did you meet your wife? Before I was an animator, I was an engineer. Actually, I was an engineer for a lot of years. And my wife and I met in first year university when we started engineering. She's an engineer as well, or she was. So that was a long time ago. That was probably before a lot of you were even born, before a lot of you even thought about, to be honest. So my wife and I met at the very first engineering party. It was called the Corn Roast. There's no corn there. Engineers don't eat corn, but they do drink a lot of beer. I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank in a long time, to be honest. I just stopped. You get to a certain age, you're like, I don't do that anymore. Or maybe you don't. I just did. I did. Anyway, so yeah, we met at the Corn Roast at this engineering party. I was actually going there to meet someone else. There was a girl that I had seen, and I thought, I want to go meet that girl, and she's an engineer. I want to go meet her. And when I showed up there, I changed my mind. I saw my wife, and I was like, no, I want to meet that girl. So don't tell my wife I'm telling you this story. But anyway, I spent the whole night speaking to my wife. And you know, I spent the whole night making a complete jerk out of myself, to be completely honest. Like I said, there's beer there, and with every beer you become more of a jerk. So any guy out there who thinks you're going to impress girls by drinking and then hitting on them, well, this is probably a bad example, but it usually does not work. It usually does not work. Anyway, I had had too much drink, and I had asked my wife out 100 times that night. 100 times that night I asked her out over and over and over again, and every single time she said, no, I have a boyfriend. No, I have a boyfriend. No, I have a boyfriend. And actually at the time she had a boyfriend who was the Canadian whitewater canoe champion. He was this big muscle guy, and I don't know. Anyway, I had just come back out of the army. I was out of the army. I was in the army for a while, and in the infantry reserves actually. I was reconnaissance. So I wasn't in bad shape. I was in pretty good physical shape, and I had spent the whole summer away, so I was in pretty good shape. I was pretty lean and mean back then. But anyway, she turned me down. 100 times she turned me down. And then, you know, the next day I realized, man, I am going to have to see this woman, this girl, for the next 4 years, every day in all my classes for the next 4 years. So I better apologize. I better make things right. So I went up to her to apologize, and she said, you know what, let's go on a date. And you know, it was amazing. It was, I don't know how she married me. You know, I'll tell you my first date in my 2-year anniversary video, because that first date was a complete disaster. In fact, 3 of us went on it. Me and my friend and her. It was a disaster all around. I don't know why my wife married me. She did. You know, she got the crappy end of the stick for that. That's for sure. I definitely, you know, married up. But we've been together for a really long time now. We're really, really happy, and we're just really happy. We're really happy people. Okay, Falcon3211 asks me, what are your daughter's names if it's not too personal? And you know what, it's not too personal. I'll tell you my daughter's names. My daughter's names are Amelia and Fiona. They're twins. They were born 1 minute apart, and this month they are 18 months. They're 18 months old, February 7th, actually. Now you guys can calculate when they were born. Don't tell my wife I told you that either, because she will kill me. Anyway, yeah, so they're 18 months right now. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I see them every day. I love it. I love it. They are... I can't believe what a difference... No, and you know, everyone says this, but I can't believe what a difference kids made in my life. They changed me completely. So their names are Amelia. It's actually Amelia Simone and Fiona Alexandra. Born 1 minute apart. Amelia's the older one. Okay, now, Zanchief MC asks, if you could meet someone you'd never met before, living or dead, who would it be and why? And this question, out of all the questions, actually, I really had to think about it. I really had to think a long time about this one, because there's so many options, you know. Anyone I had never met before, who would it be? Living or dead? And after a lot of thought, I realized that there's two answers. Two answers, to be honest. And this might be stretching what he meant by the question, but this is what my answer really is. If I could meet two people those two people would be my future daughters. So how they turned out in the future, maybe around the ages of, I don't know, 21 or 25, and I would want to meet them, and I'd want to find out what I did right and what I did wrong, and how I could have made everything better. Did I make them happy? What did I do wrong? What did I do right? If I could meet them right now and I could figure that out, that would make my life so much easier. And I would make sure that whatever they told me I did wrong, I would make sure it was right the next time through. So if I could meet any two people, it would definitely be my future daughters, Amelia and Fiona. All right, the next set of questions is about YouTube. Okay, so Jordan Quinn, Derpy Elf, and Productions Shadow Wolf all ask, why did you start YouTube? And this is actually a really interesting question. I started YouTube 1 year ago. And as I mentioned, my girls are 18 months old. I started YouTube truly because having twins and being at home alone with the girls was kind of lonely. And that doesn't sound like it should. It wasn't that they made me lonely. It was that they were very young, and twins are born small. They have to be fed every 3 hours. Every 3 hours, around the clock. 24 hours a day they have to be fed. So back then we did not get a lot of sleep. And that meant, my wife and I were both at home at that point. She was recovering and I was taking care of everybody, kind of thing. There wasn't a lot of time for friends back then. A lot of my friends are gone. A lot of them are single guys and guys I used to hang out with, and they don't want to hang out with a dude who's got 2 baby girls, and that's what he loves to talk about now. Because I talk about him a lot. Anyway, I started YouTube for that reason, because I really wanted to reach out there and meet people and feel like I was talking to someone, not in baby talk. My wife loves to sleep, so every second she could, she was sleeping and resting up. And I hate to sleep. I hate sleeping. So every minute I can, I'm doing something else. And I filled that time with YouTube. I was really talking to everyone out there when I was making these things. My first Let's Play was terrible. I look back on it now, and it was, I don't know, I was shy, and I was not confident, and it was really strange. But I think I've grown a lot as a YouTuber now. But the reason I started was to talk to people, to feel like I had a voice, that I wasn't getting lost, and that I was still talking to people and still, able to speak with adults. That's why I started. Okay, next question. Luca Campia, now White Mamba, and Derpy Elf all ask, who was your biggest inspiration starting YouTube? Now, I started Minecraft actually not very long before I started YouTube. Not very long at all. My last job was in studio at a spot called Mr. X, and I was working on a show called Resident Evil. And all the animators there played Minecraft, and they were trying to convince me to get it. And I had heard of Minecraft. In fact, I had seen it a long time before when I was working at a game studio. And I thought, no one's ever going to play that crappy game. Look how it looks terrible. It looks terrible. Who's ever going to play that? But anyway, all the animators at Mr. X played Minecraft, and they convinced me to get on their server. I picked it up, and I was addicted. I was like so in love with that game. It was crazy. I stayed up the first night like 24 hours. I missed work. I stayed up so long playing it, I missed work and everything. And after that, I started watching YouTube videos while I was animating. I'd be animating, and I'd have this YouTube video going off in the background. And it was almost always, at that time, it was almost always Etho. I watched a lot of Etho's Lab. So that has to be my biggest inspiration as far as YouTube. I watched Etho, and I watched Kurt on his Journey to the Far Lands, actually. And I think I watched the Minecrackers not because they were Minecrackers. I didn't know anything about Minecrackers back then. All I knew was that when you did a search on YouTube, that's what came up when you were searching for Minecraft. And yes, so I was watching them. So I don't try and imitate either one of them. I don't try and in any way imitate them. In fact, they both have very different personalities and very different styles, and I don't try and imitate them at all. I just watched their content because I enjoyed it. I learned a lot from Etho. As far as Redstone and that stuff was concerned, I knew nothing about it, and I'd watch his stuff to kind of learn. So that's actually probably how I learned about all my Redstone, to be honest. And after that, just trial and error. But Etho and Kurt are probably the first two guys that I ever watched for YouTube, on YouTube. Before that, I didn't watch YouTube at all. Okay, Tippewa Games asks, how much of your day is with family and how much is with YouTube? And does YouTube ever get in the way of family? Well, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I've mentioned that a few times actually. I'm a stay-at-home dad, so my day is almost all family. I'm with the girls 8 or 12 hours every single day. Every single day I'm with the girls that long. That's my job. My job is to make sure they're alive when their mother gets home. Otherwise, she will kill me. But I have to make sure those girls are alive and happy when their mother gets home. So that's how I spend my days. Evenings, I try and have dinner with my wife. We actually spend time watching shows together. We do stuff together like that. And then when she goes to bed, as I mentioned, she loves her sleep. She gets, 8, 10 hours a night. I get 5 hours, top 6 hours a night. So the rest of that time, that 4 hours or whatever, maybe 4 hours, iffy, is spent doing YouTube stuff, either watching other people's videos or playing some of the games and recording and getting them ready for upload the next day. And then whenever I'm not doing that, the rest of the time is spent on animation. And that's probably why I don't have as many animations as I should, or even as many YouTube videos as I should. I don't have the time that a lot of people have. When my girls go to school, if I'm still at home doing this, and you know what, I'm hoping I'm going to be, if you guys help me out, then I'm going to make a lot more content and a lot more higher quality content, I hope. A lot more animation, a lot more tutorials, a lot more Let's Plays and that kind of stuff. But for now, my time is mostly family and only a little bit YouTube. That's just the way it is. And my family will never suffer for YouTube. It won't. Okay, Mini MC 1492, Tippewa Games, and Duzan all ask, how long does it take to produce a video? And what are the steps involved? Well, pretty much the steps are always the same. I think there's 5. There's probably 5 steps. Now, the first one is obviously recording the game. Playing the game, recording it. And that takes however long. With Minecraft and with games like Terraria, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. A lot of, building or collecting resources that you guys just don't want to see. I make sure you guys don't see that stuff. I record a lot of it. And every once in a while, I'll do a speed build, but I don't normally show that stuff. So the first step is recording. Second step is editing. I edit the heck out of my videos. I make sure that you're only seeing what I think you want to see. And if I'm not showing you what you want to see, then you tell me. You guys let me know. This is not what I want to see. This is crap, Casanis. But yeah, let me know. I edit my videos like crazy to make sure that they are concise and they're what you guys would want to see. That's the next step, edit. Step 3, of course, is watch and upload. Watch and upload, and I have to make sure I watch everything after I've done the edits and that kind of stuff. I watch it all once I've actually rendered it out. I watch everything and make sure there's no mistakes. Now sometimes there are, and sometimes I'm like, all right, forget it, I don't even care anymore, and I put them up. That's probably the wrong attitude, guys. Quality's everything, remember that. Anyway, sometimes I do that, but usually I say, oh God, I re-render it, okay? And once it's up there, step 4 is answering you guys. Once everything is up on YouTube, then I spend a lot of time. I try and spend time every single morning when I first get up answering back any questions anyone has. Anytime you guys spend writing me, I want to make sure that I'm writing you back. I want to make sure that I'm participating with you as much as you're participating with me. You guys are giving me a lot, and I want to make sure I give you a lot. I try and answer every single person that writes me a comment or writes me a personal message. I try and write everyone back. So that is the 4th step. I said there was 5 steps, but you know what? There's not. There's 4 steps, I guess. It's record, edit, watch to make sure there's no mistakes, upload, and comment. That's it. That's the 4 steps. So it's a couple hours. There's hours that go into this, especially behind the scenes. When you are doing like Terraria or Minecraft, like I said, there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes, a crazy amount. So yeah, a lot of work. All right, the next question comes from Archer Gaming MC and Duzan, and they both say, if there was no YouTube, what would you be doing? And that's a great question. If there was no YouTube, what would I be doing? And in fact, maybe in a few years there's not going to be any YouTube. Maybe I won't be doing this at all. What will I be doing then? I spent a lot of time, as I mentioned before, as an engineer, and I switched over to animation, and I love both worlds. I love the technical side, and I love the animation. And there was a while where I worked at a game company called, what the hell was it called? Bedlam Games. It was a long time ago. Not that long ago, I just forgot. Bedlam Games, and that studio went under. It was here in Toronto. It went under. But while I was there, I did a lot of the animation for the games, but I also did a lot of the technical work. I was exploring game engines and that kind of stuff. So I was able to write my own games by the time I left there. I had the coding experience, I had the animation experience, so I can pretty much do what I need to do, both the code and the art. And in fact, I've actually written several of my own games. One of them is on my channel right now. I wrote it as a joke It was the Minecraft stack, and for some reason, I have no idea why, I pretended it wasn't me that wrote it. I don't know why. I thought I was worried that people would ask me for it and ask me, you know, all this different stuff, and then I didn't want to give it away at the time. I didn't have it finished yet, and so I don't know why. I just said I didn't do it. But anyway, I did that game. That's my game, and it didn't take me very long to do. There's not a lot of art in it right now. It's kind of like it's really just a structure right now. But I would probably be making games for the iPhone, or for, you know, tablets, you know, or for the PC. Or Mac, for anything actually, really. I'd be writing games, I think, indie games. I really love indie games. They're so much fun to make. You can do crazy stuff. I'd probably do that. That or photography. I'm actually a big photographer as well. I spend a lot of time doing portraiture and documentary photography. I really love it. So I would either be doing photography in some way, or I would be doing game design, indie game design. And both of those would allow me to stay home. And that's what I want. I want to stay home. I want to take care of my girls, and that's what I want to do. So it'd be one of those things. All right, last of the YouTube questions comes from Cry Gaming. And he asks, or she asks, can you give me some tips in being a bigger YouTuber? Well, I'm not a big YouTuber, to be honest. I am, at the time of making this video, I think I'm 6,500 subs, something like that. And for some people that's big, you know, and then when I first started that was big. You know, when you have 10 subs, you think 6,500, oh my god, that's huge. But as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, you realize the big guys, like even at 50,000 subs, you're not big yet. You know, you're getting there. You've got a good name. People know who you are. But even at 50,000 subs, you're not a big YouTuber yet. You know, the big guys, the monsters got, you know, 100,000, 300,000, a million, 500,000. You know, they're huge. They're really, really big. These are the kings. We're just small. But how can you grow on YouTube? I'll take it like that instead. How can you grow on YouTube? And really and truly, it's all about knowing people, speaking with people, getting your content out there. If you're a small YouTuber, try doing collabs with somebody else that's a little bit bigger than you. You don't want to be with anybody who's too big, because if you're with somebody who's really, really big, then you're going to get lost anyway. Try and meet someone who's a little bit bigger than you, and share your subs, you know, share your subscribers. Try and find someone outside of your subscriber base. Do stuff with them. Work on a public server. Do a lot of stuff like that where people can see you. That will help you go a long way. All right, that was the YouTube questions. So the next set of questions are about gaming. Okay, gaming. Tyson's World of Games asks, what was your favorite game ever played? Now, I'm going to put Minecraft aside, because honestly, Minecraft is probably my favorite game. I'm addicted to it. That is absolutely true. The design is, it's a genius game. The design's genius. Everything they do about it is genius. I love it. I love it. I don't know why I ever thought it was anything but genius. You know, the simple game design is astounding. But putting Minecraft aside, I think I'd have to go back to Xbox, the first Xbox. I had a first Xbox, and I played a game on there called Mech Assault, and I played Mech Assault way too much. Way too much. I was addicted to that game. I'm a Mech Warrior freak. I'm a Mech Assault freak. Battletech, all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of weird. I really love that type of gaming. I used to do, you know, the tabletop gaming and that kind of stuff. And I loved when they started coming out with video games for it. Man, I was addicted. I loved it. So Mech Assault was probably one of them. I loved Chrome Hounds for the same reason. Chrome Hounds was a genius game until it got wrecked. Chrome Hounds again might have been for 360, I forget now, but Chrome Hounds I loved. And I think the second Splinter Cell, again, it was so innovative for its time. It was the first ever stealth and FPS mix, where you played the stealth side and the FPS guard. And it was just crazy good. It was crazy good. I spent a lot of time playing that game, that's for sure. And at the time, it was just genius. I loved it. So those are my three favorite, I have to say. And you know what I loved? I loved Left 4 Dead 2. I loved a lot of games. So Left 4 Dead, Mech Assault, Splinter Cell, and Chrome Hounds. Those four. I'm going to cut it off there. And, you know, Minecraft. But I'm going to cut it off there. That's it. All right. Rating Star 87... Tyson's World of Games both ask, what was my own favorite build? Which build of someone else is your favorite? I was never a builder. To be honest, I was never a builder until I got onto Koala Craft. And then I decided to start building. And I started building with your help. I started asking you guys, what did you want to see? My favorite build, I don't know. I like what I'm doing right now. I really enjoy doing the steampunk stuff, but I'm sure that every time I build something new, I'm gonna like that one better. You know, my building's improving. I'm not bragging here. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not saying I'm the best builder, that's for sure. But my building's improving, and every time it improves, I feel better about it. And the same thing, which of someone else's build is my favorite? You know, I don't know. I don't know. There are so many really fantastic builders in Minecraft. So many fantastic builders. I mean, yes, you've got a lot of the Minecrafters are fantastic, but you know, there's a lot of these channels that are small channels and you'll never see them, and they are wonderful. They're wonderful. I don't know. I couldn't pick my favorite of someone else's. There's too many good builders out there. Just way too many. Okay. There's a couple of how did you meet questions here. Henrik Abrahamson. Abrahamson? I'm hoping I'm saying these names right, guys. I don't know. Asked me, how did you meet Poet Plays? Poet and I don't know each other very well. We've done a few things together. We've done a UHC as well as a couple of mini games and that kind of stuff. And I met him through a YouTuber named Adulgit. Adulgit was on KoalaCraft with me, and he's still a good friend of mine, Adulgit. He's now on a server that he runs called Rockhouse, so check him out. Adulgit is a really good guy, and he introduced me to Poet Plays and invited me to one of the mini games recordings. Yeah, and I think we actually did, if I remember correctly, we might have done a build game together too, but I can't remember for sure. Myself and Poet. But anyway, it's all through Adulgit. Contacts always helps. So one way to, like I said before, to grow, make contacts and try and share, you know, share everyone you can with everybody else, and that way you'll grow a larger community. Community is where it's at. So Adulgit helped me out with Poet Plays. And Panzanes asked, how did you meet the Minecrackers? I met the Minecrackers. Actually, the very first Minecracker I ever met was Vintage Beef. And I met Vintage Beef because of Terrace HD. Terrace and I first met on a public server, so once again, check out public servers because you meet a lot of good people on there. Terrace and I met on a public server on the Social Blade server. Actually, he came looking for me, and he ended up introducing me to Vintage Beef. And through Vintage Beef, I actually met several of the other ones. In fact, Terrace actually introduced me to a bunch of them. And so did Jaren. Jaren is another YouTuber as well. Jaren introduced me to a lot of them through his Platform Power game. I played with a lot of the guys in Platform Power. So, yeah, it's all about who you know and being friendly and being nice to people. Guys, that's how you get to know other people in this game. That's how you grow as a YouTuber. All right, the next section is a personal section. Okay, personal section. Yergs asks, has there ever been a story you wanted to tell that didn't fit into a video? I don't know. I don't tell a lot of stories in videos. I actually do. I probably should tell a lot more stories in videos. I don't. I probably should tell a lot more. But you know what I'm going to do, Yergs? I'm going to tell a story that I never told anyone. There's two of them, actually. There's one where a professional wrestler blew his nose on me, and there was another where I accidentally lit a car on fire. And I think I'm going to come clean about the car. When I was very, very young, and listen, if you're watching this, whoever's car I burnt down, I'm really sorry. When I was really young, a friend of mine and when I was a little kid, you know, we got our hands on some firecrackers. Getting your hands on firecrackers when you were a kid was like, what the heck? You know, I love firecrackers, and you blow things up. And one day we got our hands on a smoke bomb, and we thought it would be the funniest thing ever to throw a smoke bomb in someone's car and stand back and watch when the smoke came out and see the people think their car was on fire. We thought that would be the funniest thing ever. So we found a car that had its window open a crack, and we lit the smoke bomb and we threw it in there. And we stood back and we waited for the white smoke to come out, and we ran. We thought, this guy's going to be scared that his car's on fire. And we ran, you know, I don't know, 10 blocks away by the time we stopped running. And when we looked back, there was billowing black smoke. Billowing black smoke. And we thought, wow, that thing is really working. That's a lot of smoke coming out of that little smoke bomb. And we went back an hour later to see what happened. And the entire car had burnt right to the ground. There was fire trucks there. There was a little girl that I came riding on my bicycle. And as I came riding up, she said, "That's the guy." And I ran home. I rode my bike home, actually, as fast as I possibly could. I rode my bike home. My friend and I hid in our house for a week. We did not come out at all. We were so scared. So that is a story that I have never told anyone. And now I've told all of YouTube, and I did it all for you, Yergs. All for you, Yergs. So I hope that was what you wanted. All right, the next question comes from Mine Cheesecraft, Instant Jellyfish, Pingu Play, and Blazing Blocks. And the question is, what made you start animation? What was the first program you used? How did you learn what you know today? And did I go to college or university for animation? So, I started animation. I was actually doing a master's in computer science. I had graduated engineering. I was working, and I was doing a master's in computer science in the evenings after work. And I took this optional course in a new area of study that was called digital arts, and they offered a course in computer animation, and it was really about using computer animation to do other things like precise modeling and that kind of thing. And I started off with Maya. The very first one I used was Maya. It was either Maya 3 or Maya 4. I can't remember now, but it was a long time ago. And back then it wasn't even Autodesk. It was owned by a company called Alias. So that was the very first animation program I used was Maya. And that's how I really got into animation, when I tried this optional course, and I thought, oh my god, I love this. I don't want to be a computer programmer anymore. I don't want to be an engineer anymore. I ended up quitting the master's, and I was almost done. I quit the master's without finishing it, and I quit my job. Actually, at the time, I was working for a company called Nortel, and Nortel offered everyone who accepted to be laid off 1 year's salary. I took the 1 year's salary, I took the layoff, and I went back to school for animation. I went to a school. My first university I went to was in Montreal, Canada. I went to a university called Concordia University in their fine arts program in animation, and I ended up doing a graduate program in Toronto at a school called Sheridan. And out of the two, I learned a lot from my fellow students when I did the BFA. I learned a lot more about animation going to Sheridan in the 1 year graduate program. I learned more in that 1 year graduate program than I did in the full Concordia program, and it's just because it was a lot more hands-on. Concordia was about art, and it was about the art side of things, and they wanted you to really explore your own artistic side. And Sheridan was about producing. Actually, the first film I did at Sheridan, my first ever indie film, is on my channel right now. It's called Headwinds. That was my graduate film. That was my graduate study film. So yeah, that was it. So the first one I used was Maya. I started animation because I randomly took it and I fell in love with it. I learned what I know today by going to school, 2 different degrees, a graduate degree and a BFA, and by practicing. Anyone who wants to be an animator, there's absolutely no way you're going to become an animator unless you practice all the time. All the time. If you sit down tomorrow with an animation program, you're going to be crappy. You are going to be terrible at it. I'm sorry, you're going to be. It's going to take you a while to get really good. The more practice, the better. All right, the last section I'm calling Just for Fun. Okay, this last section is called Just for Fun, and I've got 2 questions in here, and they're kind of weird, but I put them at the end because they're kind of awesome too. So, Timon Kuipers, and I hope I said your name right, dude, because that guy is so active on my channel. He deserves this shout out. Timon Kuipers asks, if I was attacked by a giant, what would I do? And if it's a giant, like, 10-story tall giant, I'd probably die. I'd probably get squashed. I'd try and run away. He would probably step on me, and that would be that. He would just crush me, just squish me up. If it was like a 7-foot giant, I'd maybe punch him in the neck. I don't know. You can reach that high. You can punch that guy in the neck. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm just glad there's no giants in this world that are always trying to kill me. I'm glad on the top of the food chain. I'm glad I can go outside right now and eat anything else, and nothing's going to stop me. I can eat anything, and nothing's going to stop me. But if there was a giant who wanted to eat me, that would suck. You'd be outside, and you'd walk out of your house, you'd look around all the time, there's a giant around. So I'm really glad there's no giants. All right. Lodge-tastic asks, would you rather fight 100 goose-sized horses or 1 horse-sized goose? Now, I don't know if he asked this because I'm Canadian, but Canadians know the answer to this right away. Geese are badasses. You do not want to screw with the goose. A mean goose is mean. They will chase you. They will honk at you. They will use their beak on you. They'll flap at you. They are mean. So, and I used to be a runner. I was a runner. My wife and I were runners for a long time. We did half marathons. When we didn't have kids, we ran all the time. Half marathons. We travel around and do half marathons all over the place. And we train really hard here in Canada. And oftentimes, there would be geese in the park, and geese would chase you. It was terrible. Geese are mean. I'm telling you, geese are mean. If you're not from here, you don't know. Geese are mean. It's not like a bird. It's like this, I don't know, really angry bagpipe that's coming at you. It sucks. So, the only answer to this is I would rather fight 100 goose-sized horses. Yes, horses are tough. Maybe they could kick me and they'd rear up and, you know, try and step on me and stuff, but they're small. A giant goose would be terrible. I would never fight a giant goose. Again, it would probably just eat me. Like having giants around. It'd be terrible. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this thing. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for my 1 year. I owe this 1 year video to you guys. It's for you, so you got to know me a little better, I hope. If you guys like this vlog, let me know. If you liked it, I'll do more vlogs. I've shown my face now, so there's no reason not to do it. I mean, I've got the glasses on. I'll always wear a disguise of some kind, but there's no reason not to do it now. You guys have seen my face, so that's it. If you liked it, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Comments down below. Let me know if you did like it. Let me know if you want more. Comments are always appreciated. If you didn't like it, a thumbs down is perfectly fine. I am not going to be upset. You can say, man, I think that guy's ugly. Thumbs down. I don't care. Say it. Really, I don't care. And if you haven't done so, please take a few seconds to subscribe. Have yourselves a wonderful night, everyone.